Assalamu alaikum all of you. So dear students, today our topic is education and social stratification. So before we move on to social stratification and its relationship with education, I just want to make you understand briefly the meaning of education and stratification, and then we will move on to our real topic, that is the relationship between education and social stratification. So, as all of you know, meaning of education. From times immemorial, there have been so many definitions of education. Like you can say that education is the all-round development of the personality. Education is the complete development of personality. It is the formation of character. Well-known meaning of education, you, me, anybody, now and then we repeat this definition that education is the modification of behavior. So according to, I will give you the definition as given by John Dewey. So according to John Dewey, the famous pragmatist from USA, he said that education is not preparation for life, but education is life. So if we try to elaborate this definition of education, that education is not preparation for life, because many scholars, many educationists, many philosophers even, they have given this definition that education is the preparation for life. It starts from the birth of a child and it ends when that individual breathes his or her last, or when he is dead. Only then education stops. But here we see that Dewey says that education is not only preparation for life. It does not only prepare us for life, because in life a number of things happen. There is life, there is death. And between these two phases, these two important phases, life and death, there is a pause which we call as life. So it is this life between death and birth for which education prepares us. And in this very life, we as individuals, we as human beings in this universe, in this world, face a number of things. Whether those things are joyful or whether those things are sorrowful, by which we feel annoyed or we get frustrated. We face so many struggles in life. We face many failures and even successes in life. How we will tackle with all those successes, all those failures, all those struggles and trials and anxieties and stresses, that is the preparation for life, and that is what education prepares us for. So, Dewey, I will again repeat that Dewey says that education is not only preparation for life, but in fact education is life. Because even when a baby is not born, regardless of gender, whether that baby is a boy or a girl within the womb of the mother, his education starts. Even from the first day when a woman conceives, she becomes pregnant with a child, the education of that particular child starts. Because you might have heard, you might have seen on TVs or other social medias that when a woman is pregnant and when she sings, when she reads out stories to her child which is there in her womb, and after giving birth to that very child, when she repeats those poems, those lyrics, those songs to the very child, the child shows, he shows that yes, he is acquainted with that music. That means the child has already learned that music, that song or that talk or story within the womb when he was there with the womb of the mother. So education is not only preparation for life, but it is life, and we really agree with that. So moving ahead, another definition as given by Gandhi, M.K. Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, the famous philosopher, educationist and the freedom fighter and the father of the nation. He has given us a definition of education, a very beautiful definition of education. He said that by education, I mean an all-round drawing out of the best in child, man, body and spirit. So what do we understand by this definition? What is education? that no doubt education is the all-round, full development of the personality of the child, including all the aspects of his personality, that is social, physical, intellectual, moral, aesthetic, cultural, intellectual. But further he says, it is also drawing out the best, बच्चे में जो भी अच्छा है, because every child, again regardless of gender, regardless of sex, whether he is a he or a she, every child which comes to this universe, which comes to this world, the Creator, the Almighty, sends him or her with all the capacities and all the potentialities. Now, what is the role of the education? What is the role of the educator? To draw out that potentiality, to draw out that best which is hidden within the child, whether that potentiality, whether that capability is in or her, in his or her body, mind or spirit. वो उसकी रूह में है, वो उसके दिमाग में है, वो उसकी body में है. The teacher has, the educator has to draw out that from the very student, from the very pupil. So by education, that's why Gandhi said that by education, I don't mean rote memory, आपको रट्टा याद करना है. No, I don't mean that. I mean there is everything within the child, every child, because every child is different, every child is unique, every child has his individuality, dignity, self-respect. There is the potentiality, there is the capacity, but it is there in his mind, in his body and in his spirit. Now beta moving on to what is the जो हमारा main topic है, that is education and social stratification. I feel that the meaning of education is now clear to you. Now moving to the second part of the very same concept, that is social stratification. As you know that the term social stratification, it is combined of two words. There is social and there is stratification. Being the students of sociology, you know that social means anything that deals with the society. We are social beings. Well, first we are human beings and then we are social beings because we reside in a society. So social, it means society. And stratification, what do we understand by stratification? The term social stratification is derived from the geological concept of strata, which means rock layers. Just like in geography, you might have heard the word strata. And what do we understand by strata in geography? It means layer. When one layer comes, there is another layer and uske upar another layer and another layer. A sort of a strata is formed. A rock is formed. In the similar way, when we talk about stratification in the society, that means divisions. That means sections. So the term social stratification, it has been derived from the geological concept of strata, which means rock layers. And these rock layers are created by natural processes. You know there is metamorphosis, there is sedimentation, there is the formation of different rocks. You have already read it in your geography subject. So now here when we explain this stratification in terms of sociology or in social perspective, we say that stratification is a hierarchy of positions. We have a lower class, we have a middle class, and we have an upper class, and we have elites and we have royals. So stratification is a hierarchy, one after the another, of positions that the individuals, that the human beings are holding in this universe, in their particular societies, in which of those very societies they are a part. So hierarchy of positions with regard to economic production. You are a middle class because you earn jitna ek middle class kamata hai. That is why you are in which section? You are a middle class. You are below middle class. You are in lower class. That means your economic condition is that you are earning only that much. So you are in you fall in which category? You fall in which hierarchical unit? That is lower class. So economic production, which influences the social rewards to those in the positions. Now we will move on, we will further clarify this concept of social stratification by giving a few definitions regarding social stratification. We have here a very beautiful definition as given by Raymond W. Murray. What Murray has said, he says that Social stratification is a horizontal division of society into higher and lower social units. In any society, if you will retrospect, if you will go through any society, whether that is an Indian society, there is a European society, there is an American society, or you have your own Kashmiri society, if you एक नज़र दौड़ाएंगे अपनी society पे, you will see that there are divisions in the society in what units? Higher and lower. And these units, which are termed as higher and lower, these units are known as social units, because these units have been made where? In the society. That is why social units. Every society is divided into more or less distinct groups. You have a lower class, you have middle class, you have an upper class, you have royals there, you have elites there, you have even the females, and you have the males, you have the boys and you have the girls, you have the primary, you have the higher, you have the secondary, and similarly many other divisions in the society. In fact, you have other stratifications, other social units, like on the basis of religions. For example, among the Muslims, you have the Hanfis, and you have the Shias and others. So every society is divided into more or less distinct groups. Even the most, if we go back 1,000 years back, if we go to the age when a man was a nomad, when he was a wanderer, when he used to move from one place to another, when his home was the jungle, the forests, he had no place to live, a permanent place, when he was not a settler. Even then, you can see that even then, the society, that primitive society, they were also divided into different social units. So even the most primitive societies has some form of social stratification. So far we have understood that this term social stratification, it is not quite new. It is a very old concept. Stratifications has been there in the society from times immemorial. We call it as primitive societies. Now, moving on to the features of stratification, social stratification. The main features of social stratification are: number one, features means the characteristics. Characteristics, features, okay? So number one, it is a social and economic categorization of individuals. Just I told you that you divide, you classify people on the basis of their economy, on their wages, how much money they earn. That is known as economic categorization. And even in the society, you divide people. You divide people on different social units. So it is a first feature is that it is a social and economic categorization of individuals within the societal framework. Second, social stratification can be also done. It has another feature that it is based on caste, class, and status and power of a community or section of people within the framework of society. So social stratification is also based on caste, class, and status. What is your parent? We often, when we start making friends, the first question we ask each other when we have to make a friend, we ask me, what is your father? Then वो भी हमें वहाँ से पूछती हैं, what is your father? So we try to classify ourselves, whether I belong to her group or not, whether she belongs to my group or not. And quite often it happens that we make friends with that social unit which quite resembles with us. अगर मैं middle class से belong करती हूँ, मेरी कोशिश रहती है, because I will be a bit hesitant to make a friend from a higher class, from a royal, from an elite, because there is this difference of economy. I will be a little bit of hesitant. होता है ना बेटा? So I will be more comfortable in making a friend belonging to my own class. I will prefer to have a friend belonging to the same class. If I am a middle class, I will prefer to have a friend again from this very class, that is middle class. The next feature of social stratification is that social stratification exists because of natural differences in people's abilities. Now, another important feature of social stratification is that it is not only based on, we say, caste, class, status, on economic condition. It can also happen because of the individual differences in people's ability. For example, I am a professor, I had that ability, and my destiny leaded me to this profession, and I am a professor. That means I had that ability in me that I can do justice with this profession. Similarly, someone wants to become a teacher. So there is again class, there is again status division of individuals on the basis of their abilities. For example, you all my students, dear students, you are aspiring teachers. In future you are going to be teachers. So it is because of your ability that you have been categorized. You will be categorized then as teachers, then professors, then headmasters, and then principals. Are you getting me? Okay, beta, moving ahead. Another feature of social stratification is that due to social stratification, societies tend to be stable. That means the process of social stratification is very important. It is because of this process, social stratification, when we divide people on the basis of class, gender. So, what happens when social stratification takes place? It makes the society stable. What do you understand by stability? Stable means? Not in conflict, but stable. No, it is stable, that it is in peace, it is calm, it is working nicely, it is functioning nicely, that is stable. And it is because of social stratification, it is because of the process of social stratification that the different units, that the different parts are holding together because of this social stratification. Next is, it lessens the conflicts and provides structure. Obviously, when your society is stable, when everything is working nicely, then there is no question of conflict or war or annoyance. Clear? जब आपकी society stable है तो वहाँ conflict क्यों होगा? Unless and until there is something missing in your society, some part of it, जैसे हमने कल functionalism में पढ़ा था, every part is important. जब तक हर कोई part अच्छे से काम नहीं करेगा, your society can't work successfully, it can't be stable. So here again you see a linkage between that functionalism and social stratification. Next feature is that social stratification is a natural and voluntary separation according to race, social and economic status. Now moving on to another important aspect which is related to social stratification, that is what are the different categories of social stratification. किन किन basis पे समाज में social stratification होती है. Number one is social class, the class which you belong to. ठीक है? Now the first category is social class. It means distinction between wealth and income and their distribution in society. For example, he is the son of a doctor, she is the daughter of a lawyer, a judge, a barrister. Are you getting me? Social mobility and the link between class and life chances. When you have social stratification, when your society is stable, you have social mobility. What do you understand by social mobility? Very nice, very nice. You are moving from one hierarchical level to another. For example, you at present we all belong to middle class and we are all students. We will work hard and we will a day will come when we will start earning. We will get good jobs, and through our economy, through our earning, we will move on to the next hierarchical level in the society, that is from middle class to higher class. That means we have moved from one social group to another social group. ठीक है? Next is changing nature of class and its relationship to the economy and the occupational structure. Just a second, I am going backwards, I have to move forward. Next category is gender, on the basis of gender. Social stratification in the society is also done on the basis of gender. That is difference between biological notion of sex and the socially constructed notion of gender. For example, women are best suited at home. It is the home which they have to take care of. They don't need to go for a job, isn't it? This is also known as stratification on the basis of gender, sex. It is men who have to go for jobs, who have to do the job, and who have to take care of their families. Nature and consequence of gender role socialization. Nature and consequences of gender role socialization. For example, in present day world, what we call as modern world, in this modern world you see that no sector, nothing in world, no job is there in the world nowadays which has not been touched by women. But prior in primitive ages, if we go back in times, we can see that there are so many instances. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर पीछे जाएंगे हिस्ट्री में तो हम देखते हैं औरतों को मैथमेटिक्स नहीं पढ़ा, लड़कियों को मैथ्स नहीं पढ़ा, कहते थे ये इनके लिए नहीं है, बिकॉज देयर ब्रेन इज़ नॉट दैट गुड कि ये मैथमेटिशियंस बनेंगे. बट नाउ द टाइम्स हैव चेंज्ड. ये एक एग्जाम्पल है. इसी तरह देयर आर अ नंबर ऑफ इंस्टेंसेस जहाँ पे आप देखते हैं कि देयर वाज सोशल स्ट्रैटिफिकेशन ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ जेंडर, जहाँ पे बोला जाता था इवन नाउ इट इज़ सेड that it is better for a girl, अगर अब वो पढ़ना ही चाहती है, she should take domestic subjects because those subjects will help her later on in her life when she is handling, when she is looking after her family. ऐसी चीज़ें आज भी होती हैं. This is also known as social stratification but based on gender. Gender inequalities in terms of occupation, family and social roles and expectation. For example, काम करने में भी inequalities. For example, यहाँ की आप बात छोड़िए, अगर आप बाहर देखेंगे when not only men but women also there, they work as workers, laborers. But when it comes to wages, beta, when it comes to wages, when it comes to money, women are not, if a woman has worked for 6 to 7 hours and a man has worked also for 6 to 7 hours, for example, man is paid 1,000 rupees, for example, for a day, but woman is not paid 1,000 rupees because she is considered an inferior gender. That is again social stratification. Are you getting me? On the basis of gender. Another category is that is race and ethnicity. On the basis of race, on the basis of ethnicity, that nature, size and distribution of different racial and ethnic groups in modern society. Racism in America, blacks, yeah, when India was ruled by the Britishers. So there are a number of things, there were a number of things which the Britishers did not allow Indians to do. For example, climbing in a train, in a first class train, they were said that you are not supposed to be in this train because you are an Indian, you are black, you can't sit here, and even you can't wear that coat and tie and all that pant, the attire. Are you getting me? Racism, ethnicity. Then there is inequality relating to race and ethnicity, in particular discrimination in education, employment and on life chances. When we discriminate, when we stratify people on the basis of race and ethnicity, what happens? When we discriminate people in different spheres of life, whether that is education, whether that is society, whether there are different chores in the society which the people do, when we try to discriminate people on those very bases, the society cannot remain stable. Next is role of mass media in the formation of stereotypes and the consequences for ethnic groups. It is not only individuals, it is not only human beings who contribute to this process of social stratification through racism or ethnicity. Here we see that one of the feature of this category is that they say that even the mass media. Have you ever observed when you are watching a TV or when you are going through different social media platforms, have you ever watched or have you ever observed that how media plays a role in exploiting women or even men? Based on their color, based on their the religion they belong to. Are you getting me? Okay. Another category is age. Social construction of the concept of age, including awareness of different notions of childhood, adolescence and old age in different societies. For example, when even it is not only about childhood or adolescence, even when a baby girl is born in any family, to any couple, any parent, I feel as a teacher, I feel as a mother, I have seen these instances in my day-to-day life, that from right from day one, there are these differences. If you have a boy and then there comes a girl in your home, right from day one, the difference is there. There is a different treatment while handling a girl, and there is a different treatment while you are developing or you are taking care of a boy. There is even difference when you are when it comes the question of education. No, my son will go to Burn Hall. No, 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 no. Why my daughter should go to convent? She can read in any government school. So these are the differences. Are you getting me, beta? So these are the differences. Inequalities as a result of age, such as employment, low pay, access to benefits and restrictions on social behavior. Even inshallah in future, when you will be teachers, when you will be holding certain positions in different schools, even you will there see, you will observe, there even at the employment places, in the offices, you will see that there is a difference in the treatment of employees, whether that employees is a female or a male. You will see a difference, and those differences are quite notable when we try to observe them. Then there is implications of changes in the age structure of modern society. Another category is that is disability. In society, we also stratify people on the basis of disability. Social construction of disability. Whenever there is a disability in any individual, whether that is a male or a female, how society treats him? Huh? There is a difference. There is a difference. Inequality relating to disability, in particular, discrimination in education, employment, and on life chances. For example, हम दूर नहीं जाएंगे. We will take our own example. For example, by the grace of Almighty, all of my students, they are quite fit, they are quite normal, there is no disability. For example, there comes a student with a disability. I can tell you for sure that presently in this gathering you are 20 students, and that one will be 21st student. I can say that all my 20 students will be, they will not be in the class full-fledgedly. Their concentration will not be on me. They will be a bit uneasy. They will be a bit uneasy. And even that disabled student, he or she will also be uneasy, because this norm has been already set in our minds that okay, he's a disabled, he can't study with a normal child. So in this regard, we have to be really educated. Education doesn't mean that we are educated physically or we are educated socially. It means all round. Our mind should be educated. Our values ऐसे होने चाहिए जो दिखाएंगे yes, he or she is really educated. It is the implication of education which matters, not the rot. Okay. Role of mass media in the formation of negative stereotypes and the consequences for disabled individuals and groups. Now coming to the final part of our question, that is, what are the different causes because of which this social stratification takes place in the society? Now there are 5 basic causes of social stratification. Number 1, that is inequality. Inequality exists because of natural differences in people's abilities. So what do we understand by inequality? That people in the society, they are not treated fairly. They are not treated equally. Though we have those slogans, fraternity, equality, because we live in a democracy, but when it really comes to execution, then there we are not equal. We treat people, we show inequality. Next cause is conflict. When there is a conflict in any nation, any place of the world, stratification can occur due to conflict. between different classes, with the upper class using superior power to take a large share of the social resources. For example, if we go back to the Vedic period, if we go back to the Vedic period, and we will see the education, what was the form, what was the structure of education there, we can see that there was a domination of an upper class caste, that is the Brahmins, and it is because of that holding an upper position in the society that Brahminic education, Buddhist education came into existence. Even it is said that Buddhist education came as a revolt against Brahminic education, because in those early times only the Brahmins, only the sons or the daughters of the Brahmins were allowed to have the right of education. So there is the question of inequality. The other children belonging to the other castes, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, they were not given a chance, they were not given equal rights for education. But nowadays we have seen that the government of India has passed an act which is known as Equality of Education for All, under which all the children of age group of 16 to 14 years of age, they have the right of education. Now in India, no child can be spared or he can be left behind from the right of education. So we are trying to remove this cause of social stratification, that is inequality. Next is conflict. As all of you know, you are well aware that in the different parts of the world, in the different countries of the world, conflict is going on, and because of that conflict, that very nation, it is not stable. And talking about their educational system and how that can be stable, so it is also the conflict. Conflict is another reason, conflict is another cause, very important cause, which leads to social stratification. Another one is power. You can have social stratification in the society because of power. If you go again 100, 200 years back and seeing the history of India, zamindari system, the whole land was owned by one. There was one landlord, and he had these thousands of laborers, workers, and he used to have that lagan. You might have watched that film also, lagan, and how they ask for that lagan. वो उनको काम करवाते थे उन लैंड्स पे. पहले तो उनका वो लैंड ले लेते थे. They used to make them sign or have that fingerprint on those blank papers, और उस पे लिख दिया जाता था कि आपने अपना सारा ज़मीन बेच दिया है, and you will now work as a laborer or a worker for me. That is वो किस पे ये करते थे? What was the cause? Because they had that power. And power किसका था? ताकत किसकी थी? It was of money. The money they were having. Power influences one's definition of self and the importance of ideas in defining social situations. Another cause of social stratification is wealth. Money. How much money one is owning, how much money a person has, and because of that he sees the other people जिनके पास उतना पैसा नहीं होता है, they are regarded as the lower class, meager class of the society, छोटा class of the society. जो wealthy इंसान है, those are the bureaucrats, the technocrats of the society. Next is difference in wealth is also one of the causes of social stratification, and now there is instability. Instability in the society being the cause of social stratification enhances stability and induces members of the society to work hard. Sometimes in the society there is instability. What is instability? You are not sure, sorry, you are not sure what is going to happen next. For example, whether that chaos or confusion is regarding your political system, economic, education, health, any system, any social subsystem. You are not sure what is going to happen. For example, you people, you are presently the students of MA. After completing your MA degree, you are not sure what you will do, whether you will get a job or not. So there is this chaos and there is this confusion. You are not sure that yes, after finishing my PG, I will have a job. So instability. But here we see that because of social stratification, because of instability, people work towards stabilization. They work hard. Because you are in chaos, you are in confusion, आपको नहीं पता है कि job मिलेगा कि नहीं, but you are striving for that job. आप hard work कर रहे हैं, and you are trying to make that unstable society stable through your efforts, through your hard work. Another cause of social stratification, these were the 5 causes of social stratification. Now the agents of social stratification. What do you understand by agents of social stratification? Because of which social stratification happens. Family, who play a role in social stratification, they are called as agents. Family. The family plays a significant role in the development of an individual, no doubt about that. There are also factors that may affect a child, which include the occupational status of his or parents. Just I was talking earlier in my lecture that whenever we try to make friends, we try to make friends out of our own class. If I belong to middle class, I will prefer to have a friend from the same class. So we ask each other, what is your father? What is your father? So there are also factors that may affect a child, which include the occupational status of his or parents, the parents' attitude towards their children's schooling, and the expectations they have for their children. For example, I am a doctor. I want my son to read in a well-off school, very nice school, private school, where he or she will have all the facilities. She will have transportation facility. She will have a boarding facility. She will have a hostel facility, because I want to give my child a better education. That also leads to social stratification. Another is school. Just I was talking. So social stratification within the school, commonly known as streaming, refers to the division of school children into age groups according to ability and intelligence. It means how many geniuses, how many above average, below average. Are you getting me, beta? Below average, above average, average students, on the basis of education, on the basis of schooling. The intelligent child, genius child in your class. The brightest children are made to form one class, while those that follow in ability from another class. जो geniuses हैं आप उनको एक क्लास में रखिए, जो आपके intelligence हैं उनकी एक क्लास रखिए, जो middle class हैं उनकी एक क्लास रखिए. So again, stratification. The children are divided into groups purely according to the merit of the individual. Occupation. That is obvious, that stratification is quite obvious. In modern societies, roles have become more diverse and complex. Skills are learned through formal education systems, and education has a lot to do with employment. The occupation one follows is mostly related to the skills and knowledge which one has acquired. It means जितना आप अच्छा education लोगे, उतना आपको job, आपके लिए job opportunities available hai. The better education you will have, the more degrees there are behind your name, the better profession you will get in the society. And that again, that means the choice of profession even. It also leads to social stratification. That was all for the day. I hope all of you have understood this concept of education and social stratification. We will meet inshallah in our next class very soon. Till then, God bless all of you. Thank you.